Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Crossover. Starring Josh Johnson and Chris McGill. Featuring Christina Thorson. And of course, you, the Instagram live chat. Now, sit back and enjoy this week's edition of The Crossover. Powered by Card Ladder.
Muhammad wins. You're wrong.
Muhammad, I'm not going to just give it to him that easy.
I don't think you don't have a choice in the matter, sir.
It's the eye test, Josh. We're not going off the stats here. My eye test wins.
This is an eye test only show.
All right. Welcome to The Crossover. Today is Friday, January 12th, 2024. I may have said 2023 on the last episode.
Oh, it is.
Okay, well, one hater accounted for. Mail days and or announcements are what's up next.
Yes. I have a mail day. Do you have one?
I have one of my biggest.
Oh, yeah. I'll go first. I'll save yours for last. Yours is bigger.
Yeah.
Your card is bigger than mine. Your graded sports card is more valuable than my graded sports card.
Takes a big man to admit that.
Yeah.
We have our first title division. Yours is bigger than mine.
Let the aggregators screen grab that. All right. 2006 exquisite LeBron Noble name plates.
Nice.
The SGC is interesting. We'll see what I'm going to do with that. Doesn't look too bad.
How does the autograph look?
Perfect.
10?
Perfecto 10.
Yep. I wouldn't expect anything less if you picked it up.
Yeah, and the patch is the nicest I've seen on these ones. So I got that from Ryan, card chasing 12.
Nice. Well,
All right, let's see this mail day.
All right. Well, originally it was an acquisition day, and then it finally became a mail day 4 months later.
Wow.
For the podcast listeners, this is the 2017 Select Patrick Mahomes Black 1 of 1 Premier level. 1 of 2 Mahomes rookie 1 of 1s from Select. The other is the field level. So this was the card that was sitting at PWCC for a little bit over 3 months. And now it's here in time for the playoffs. Oh, and then this is cool too. Was able to pair it with this.
Nice.
The McCaffrey of the same exact card, just McCaffrey. And 2017 is both their rookie years. So there we go.
So do you have the field level black McCaffrey?
No.
Do you know where either of those two cards are?
Never seen the Mahomes. I have seen the McCaffrey, and some scammer almost sold it to me on Facebook once, but he didn't have it. So, but there is a picture of it out there. It's in a BGS 9.5, but I've never been able to track it down.
Don't you have the pink 1 of 1 McCaffrey?
Yes, I did. I don't have it anymore, but I did have the the pink 1 of 1 field level McCaffrey.
So is there a pink 1 of 1 field level Mahomes?
I should know that. It's somewhere in my spreadsheet. There may be. I don't know. I'd have to look.
So that field level black, that's the only Select card that would be ranked higher?
Yes. Yep. Well, I don't know. Some people might have the XRC higher too.
Some people might be wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. The XRC is pretty sweet. I had the McCaffrey XRC for a period of time as well. So I think, this was from a time when Select was only having one of one parallel to their tiers, and Mahomes, for whatever reason, didn't get put into concourse. So McCaffrey did make it into concourse, but I've never seen his one of one from Concourse.
Well, congrats. That's a big one. So, who are you rooting for the playoffs?
Who am I rooting for?
I think we can.
Rooting for a KC Niners Super Bowl. Come on, Josh.
KC Niners Super Bowl, and I'll be rooting against the Packers. So,
Okay.
And the rooting against the Packers is probably as strong as the rooting for any other team.
What's the Packers? What's going on?
They're my number one antagonist is a Bears fan.
Makes sense.
So them losing it might even be sweeter than the Bears winning.
That's a true fan. That's how you know you're a real fan. You don't even care about your own team anymore. You just want to watch others burn.
That's what Bears fandom has been for most of my life. So
true.
All right. Let's now get to some questions here because we have a nice transition. So I have 3 questions here. Oh, before I do that, Christina or Josh, are there any announcements related to Card Letter that we should make? No. Okay. All right. 3 questions here on football. We'll warm up with this, and then we'll get to the heavy hitter questions because we have several coming. But we'll warm up with this. So Victory Investments says playoff football talk. Bruin Killer says NFL playoffs. Who you got winning it all? And Drake's PC says predictions for the NFL playoffs this weekend.
All right. Let's just go through the games.
Well, there are 6 this weekend. First game is going to happen in about 16 hours, and that's the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. The Browns are -2.
Browns are -2 in Houston. All right, let's do the snake again. So I'll go first, and then you go, then I go.
Okay.
All right, I will take I'm going to go with the Texans. Everyone's picking the Browns.
Damn it.
Let's get some CJ Stroud love going. Everyone's picking the Browns, dude. Everybody, I feel like.
Damn it. I'm going to make it interesting. I'm going to take Cleveland. But right. I wanted the Texans too. The Texans are trending up. Stroud has been very good lately. And people are so high on Flacco. If you really look at the metrics, he hasn't been that great. He has a QBR of 48 for this season. That's not so good.
Rooting for the Browns.
You're rooting for the Browns, but you think the Texans are going to take it.
Yeah, because I like the Flacco story. I think the guy's just like coming out of nowhere off his couch. Now he's like a favorite in a road playoff game. It's just fun to watch. And I like Myles Garrett. I like the Browns. They've been like a tortured franchise.
They have. Do you know Joe Flacco's playoff win-loss record is 10-5. 10-5.
Yeah. He had that one 4-0 run to win the Super Bowl when he got himself $150 million or whatever.
He did. And his road playoff win-loss record is 8-5.
He beat some of those like Patriot teams, if you remember back in the day. He was like winning some tough playoff games versus those Patriots. He's good. He's clutch.
All right, the late game on Saturday is Miami at Kansas City in supposedly a frozen tundra. And the Chiefs are 4.5-point favorites. Do I go first now, right? So I don't mess up the snake here.
Yeah.
We've already seen this matchup in London. The Chiefs dominated. I'll just take the Chiefs to dominate again.
Yeah, I think the wind chill is supposed to be like -30 or something like that. Some like insane, almost made up weather number. And yeah, there's no way that the Dolphins are like destroyed on defense with injuries, and there's no way that this offense can handle this weather. And this is Mahomes in the playoffs, so there's no way the Chiefs lose this game.
All right. Sunday, first game up, Steelers at the Bills. Bills -9.5.
Well, 9.5 in the playoffs? It was 10 last time.
Do it for Bill Simmons and take the Steelers.
No way, dude. There's another question coming up. I hope you get to it. So my teaser for the answer to that question is I'm going Bills. I'm rooting for the Bills to win it all. I like Josh Allen. I'm not a big fan of much else they got going on, but let's go Bills.
All right. We will be getting to that question in a little bit.
That game is crazy snow as well. It's supposed to be big time snow, big time weather game as well.
Yeah, I mean the Steelers without T.J. Watt are like 1-10.
Yeah.
So give me the Bills. I don't care what the weather is. All right. Green Bay at Dallas. Dallas -7. I get to go first here. Give me the boys. I don't even think I need to say anything else.
I want to pick the Packers so bad.
They have been driving. The Packers and the Texans have been playing really well, especially the quarterback position to close the season. The Packers could pull this up. My brother Stiff thinks the Packers are going to pull this up. So
Yeah. Well, my college roommate, longtime friend, co-commissioner of our fantasy league, is a big-time Cowboys fan. So I kind of root for the Cowboys just to have that going with him, just to support him. It's so tempting to just watch them fold one more time in the playoffs. I feel like they always come up short right about this range. But I'll take the Cowboys. I think they're probably still going to win.
all right. Then the final Sunday night game is the Rams at the Lions, and the Lions are 3-point favorites.
Oof. I'm historically a big Rams fan. They've always been one of my favorite teams. Love Stafford, love McVay. I think they're going to go into Detroit and rip their hearts out. I'll take the Rams.
Yeah, I like the Rams too, but I'm not going to count out the Lions here. I liked what I saw against the Cowboys. I think I'll just take the Lions. I think this could go either way, so I'll keep it interesting.
I think that's one of the best games. Just storyline. It's going to be a great game to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And the Lions had a bunch of Pro Bowlers. They were one of the top 4. All-Pro team senders. They were one of the top 4 teams in terms of number of All-Pros this year.
I think Laporta practiced today. I think I heard that.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a beast. He might play.
That'll help him if he does. But apparently he got hurt in a meaningless game last week. I don't know.
Yeah, because if they would have won and the Cowboys lost, it was just they should have done. They should have done what the Rams did and just sit everybody, because the Rams are going to be fresh.
Yes. All right, final game is Philly at Tampa Bay, and Philly is a 3-point favorite.
This is you.
Oh, okay.
This is a tough one.
This shouldn't be this tough.
The Philly's been horrible lately. It's tough because they're so bad.
They're trending in they've got losses lately to the Giants, to your Cardinals, to just it's just not good right now. But
you're messaging, I was messaging, maybe it was you or someone else. It was when the Cardinals were down 14. I was like, they're winning this fucking game. I could just tell, they want to win. So, and then Connor had the one-handed touchdown catch. I was like, they're winning this game.
Yeah. They played good teams close all year though. They beat the Cowboys. But anyway, okay. So, and Hurts' fingers banged up.
Yeah, his thumb's all fucked. AJ Brown's hurt.
Oh my God! Give me the Eagles. Give me the Eagles to turn this thing around. I got Philly.
Yeah, man. I was hoping you picked Tampa so I could take Philly. Because I think the Eagles are going to win, so I'll just stick with them. Baker Mayfield, come on. The Bucks were horrible last week. They scored 9 points against the fucking Panthers. Come on, they're not much better.
That is the under discussed part of that matchup, that the Bucks have not been great lately either.
Yeah, they played one game against the Packers, right? Mayfield had that perfect rating against the Packers. That was their one good game.
Yep. Yes, it was. All right. Oh, and finally, let's pick our Super Bowl. Let's take our Super Bowl winner.
Ugh, I hate this part.
Yeah. This is tough. We don't have it's speculating without enough information.
Yeah.
But
well, we know yours, so just go ahead.
Give me my 49ers.
And pick the two teams and the winner.
Both teams? I will take the Ravens to come out of the AFC.
Wow, they're going to take the
fifth best team. The Ravens are the 5th best team ever tracked by DVOA. 49ers are the 8th.
They swapped that because it was Niners 2nd or something, and then Ravens were 10th.
Yeah, that one game swapped.
Yeah, that was a big game. All right. So you're taking the Niners to beat the Ravens. I will take, man, this is just pure heart. Like, I just know that I'm not going to be able to pick the winners accurately, so I'm just going with my heart, like you are. I'm going to go the Bills to beat the. I'm coming up with this on the. No, come on, fuck off. I'll take the Bills to beat the Niners.
All right.
I just can't see the Cowboys or anyone beating the Niners in San Francisco. I just can't picture it,
Yeah, that's going to be difficult. All right. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the biggest topic of the week, the biggest topic of the year, the short year so far, which is this. I have 3 questions on it. Enjoy Cards IG says, please discuss LeBron autographs. Ryan Bitter says, is LeBron teaming up with Fanatics good for collectors? And GV Sports Card says, is Josh selling his LeBron autos as Brian Gray, Big Bry the deal guy, suggested? He said, if you are not selling your LeBron autos now, you should plan on a 30 to 50% decrease. Sell Mortimer, sell emoji faces. I think those are laughing. Okay.
So if Brian Gray says that it's going down, I'm actually going to buy more. Just
That's an episode 10.
I'm going to fade that take. You want me to start and just like give my take?
Dude, people may on some small level care what I say about this, but people definitely want to know what you have to say about this more than anybody.
Yeah, I think the initial reaction for someone who owns a lot of LeBron autographs is like, oh, this is going to increase the supply, which is going to decrease the value of the cards. The counter is like, okay, well, this may bring more attention to the cards. People might look back at his older stuff more, and it might increase the value. It's really hard to kind of like figure out the macro on a decision like this before we know exactly. Because the other thing that I said to you right away was like, dude, we've got 2 years before these are even licensed ones. We're going to get these high school autos, which we already have a bunch of those. There's a bunch of like high school, there's Goodwins. He's got some of those floating around. Like, we already have some of these and nobody really cares about them. So I think the real test is going to be in a couple years when they're licensed autographs. Then you might have like a licensed Logo Man auto, for example, out of a Fanatics product, like with him wearing a Lakers jersey or something. That's when it really starts to get interesting. And like, but I kind of go back to, after all that, weighing all these things, I kind of just go back to, I think this is just cool news for the hobby. I think that's where I land with it. Like, just the fact that Fanatics is able to have a relationship with LeBron, strike a deal with him. He went out of his way to like make the post about it and kind of bringing some attention to the hobby itself. So I kind of land there. They've got Brady, they've got LeBron. We know they're doing kind of what I would consider to be gimmicky thing with the Expos baseball autos. But like, what else are they supposed to do? They don't have the license to make like NFL cards for Brady anyways. So like, I'm not sure what else they could have done. I'm not sure what ideas I would have, but I kind of just land on like, it's cool, it's exciting, it's cool news. It's probably momentum for like them landing a bunch of other athletes. We'll probably keep getting these cool like releases of random ideas they might have with specific athletes, special releases, side projects. So hopefully those get better, they get more exciting, and then like I said, once the licenses kick in, it'll obviously change.
Yeah, good points. It was unthinkable over the last 20 years that LeBron would ever be able to be poached from Upper Deck, and that he and Michael Jordan, that either one of those guys would ever leave the Upper Deck family. It was just out of the realm of possibility. So I think for Fanatics to do that, it's a really, really big deal. And it's something that I'm sure took a lot of money, took a lot of effort, a lot of networking, a lot of calling in favors type of stuff, relationship type of stuff. In other words, I think Fanatics, I think Michael Rubin, I think they laid it all on the line to go get LeBron for the benefit of their trading card manufacturing, which speaks volumes about how serious they are about doing the absolute most they can. You know, it's like a signal. I look at it as like a signal that they did the unthinkable, which was sign LeBron. And then the other thing I think about too, from the market point of view, because this is a discussion that happens sometimes in the Michael Jordan card collector circles as well, thinking about what if Michael Jordan were to leave Upper Deck and go with Panini or go with Fanatics. Will it increase the supply of cards? Yes. There will be more licensed cards available. But the nature of a supply and a demand graph, you know, if you have a fixed intersection between the two lines of supply and demand, you know, then as the supply goes up, the price goes down. That's how a static graph works. But the next aspect of discussing supply and demand in microeconomics is the concept of things that move the graph, that move the supply graph, or that move the demand graph. And it can be the case that when supply increases, it actually shifts the demand curve to the right. And if the demand curve shifts as a result of more supply, then it doesn't necessarily follow that more supply equals lower prices. So how could increased supply shift the demand curve to the right? And the way that happens is when you increase supply, you expose a whole new audience to the practice of collecting players like LeBron or like Michael Jordan, who previously were not collecting them, or who were not collecting their autograph cards in this particular case because they just didn't exist. And now that they do exist, now that they are put into circulation, more people open up to the idea of collecting them. And if more people open to the idea of collecting them, some will look at the new releases, but some of them will go back and look at the old ones too. And you end up expanding the potential collector base. You end up moving the demand curve to the right. You end up shifting it to the right. That's an under-discussed part of topics like this, whether it is the Michael Jordan discussion or the LeBron discussion, is that you're also exposing a whole new audience of people to a method of collecting that they previously weren't exposed to. And so then the question becomes, which force will overcome the other one? Will the supply overcome or swallow up the new collectors that are created? Or will the new collectors that are created and the new demand that's stimulated actually overcome where it currently sits at? So
Yeah, that's a great point. One of the first mistakes that I made in the hobby when I joined early on was I made the mistake of thinking that the hobby could like live on its own with just the era of cards that I liked, and it didn't need the new Panini. And I had made this like thought that I don't like Panini cards, I don't like the new releases, but it's just because it's not for me to collect. The mistake I made was thinking that's what everyone should be doing. That doesn't make sense. This is going to hurt the supply, like you said. But what happened is, as more people came into the hobby, they were looking for the new releases. They were looking for the new rookies. They were looking for wax to open. And these are the avenues that brought people into the space. And then once they like gained more knowledge from it, then they started looking back into the older eras. And I think you saw this with like people learning about Prism. You know, they came in through Prism. They wanted to get the Luka rookie class, or, you know, going back to like Tatum and, you know, back when we were first coming in. And they looked at those cards and thought, man, I miss the 90s PMG days or the rubies. And it sort of like had this flood of people going back and buying those older cards, recollecting MJ. So I think that's a good example of what you're saying, where the supply of the new stuff came in, but it's actually moving the whole demand curve for the whole space. So this is obviously something most of us are hoping for: new eyeballs, new people coming in. And that's why I said, you know, just like the news of it itself is like, wow, LeBron signing with Fanatics, you know, this means something for Fanatics. Obviously it means something for the space. He obviously has some sort of tie to it now, some sort of excitement in joining the hobby. So I think that that's going to be a good introduction of new people.
Yeah. Did you see the video that was released of him signing that dual card? I mean, the video is pretty cool. This is something that, look, we're always going to complain and we're always going to hate.
Right.
And that just has to be taken for granted. And it's natural and it's good and it's fine. But this is something that people have been asking for a long time. Is can we get the video of the players signing these iconic cards that are going to be important? Now, let me just walk that back a little bit. I don't feel like this LeBron Bronny card is an iconic card. I feel like it's more of a gimmick card. But the concept of let's see these athletes in a candid moment, signing big cards, that's something that people have asked for, and it's been delivered.
Well, we ask for more products. Like, people want more cards. They want they want their favorite athletes in these cards, and then we get them. We get the biggest one, and it's like, now we're complaining. And I've kind of turned I've turned around on this one with parallels. Like, I was complaining about all the stupid new parallels. I was complaining we've got too many, the tiger stripe, complaining. But it's like, again, these are just, cards that I don't necessarily have to collect. Someone else might like them. It gives me more of a chase to go after the golds and the ones I like. It doesn't change the supply of the golds. It's like, we can all have kind of what we need and want in this scenario. So we got to try to look for the positive again. We can't just be shitting on everything that comes out.
Yeah, there will be enough shitting on stuff regardless, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it's always going to be part and parcel of the hobby experience. But within that culture, there are good ideas embedded in it.
Right.
If you're on the manufacturing side, you can't just sit around and wait for your flowers to come, because they're never going to come. There's never going to be just the standing ovation. There's always going to be a pressure and a desire for things to be better or to change or to improve. And it's partially because it's just a stressful experience, being in the hobby, and the bar of what is expected when people are paying so much money to open packs of these cards and stuff. And it's always going to be an impossible bar. But there are good ideas. There's always good ideas embedded in there. But there's just never going to be this round of applause, this chorus of applause is never going to come.
Yeah. Plus, sometimes you don't really need a new big splashy idea. Sometimes you just keep the tradition going. You keep it fresh with the new rookie classes. The sports kind of take care of it on their own. You've got you got Wembanyama, you got all these exciting rookies. You don't even need to really reinvent the wheel. You make a RPA, you make a Logo Man auto, you make a black prism, and you're going to get people fired up regardless. So introducing LeBron into the autograph sets for Fanatics whenever they get the license, it's like, okay, now we've got, contenders, cracked ice LeBron autos or whatever, veteran autos. We're just going to have more cool LeBron autos to choose from. If that's the downside, then sign me up.
Definitely. Just jotting down a title here. You said something that made me pivot to something we didn't get a question about, but it fits to just kind of bring it up now. The Victor Wembanyama NBA licensed Prism rookie card.
Yeah.
Okay, so this has generated a lot of criticism. And
okay.
I don't like it either. I'm just gonna be, look, why did we need to break from the tradition of the cropped Prism rookie photo shoot style card? Why did we need to have, as somebody described this, the floor is it looks like he's at a high school talent competition, and then there's the black curtain behind him. And, why not just crop it out and put one of those cool looking, Prism angular designs behind it?
Oh, I see. So the criticism is that he's somewhere that it's not just an abstract background, but he's on a court.
Yeah. If it would, people would be fine if it was an action shot too. I think. I think the thing that's bothering people is that it's this sort of wrinkled up curtain and this weird auditorium looking floor. And then also the pose itself is not inspiring much excitement in people either. It's a pretty boring pose.
You bring up the Cade Cunningham Prism rookie. I'm trying to think of like a recent.
Is the thought process here that Panini might have did at FU and made his like iconic rookie card kind of bad because of drama?
I heard that. Okay, here's Kate.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I get it now. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us that. Just give us that, like one of those cool little angular backgrounds.
Yeah, I mean, if you're right, Christina, that's so horrible for the hobby. That's like, what if this dude turns out to be, the 1 in 5 year guy? That sucks. It sucks that we have to like almost like waste this very short window that we have of like capturing people coming into the hobby because of the Victor Wembanyama rookie year, just because of some petty fight. That sucks.
Yeah. Now here is one that looked better. Like this is Derek Lively's Prism rookie card. He still has the curtain behind him. You can see the auditorium floor. It's just a better pose. It's a cooler action pose.
Can I see the Chet Holmgren? Or was he last year?
Chet was last year.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I like the like we already know that like they're not in-game photos. Like you might as well do the Cade Cunningham thing and just like design it up.
Here's Chet.
I mean, that's pretty similar, right? Like it's kind of like
yeah, it is. Chet probably has a little bit of a better pose.
Yeah. So I'm so behind. Is the Wembanyama black like around?
It hasn't been seen yet.
I guess is it pullable?
Yes, yeah, there will be one. Yeah,
but it hasn't been pulled, but it's pullable right now.
Yes,
the boxes are out. It's possible to get it.
The hobby. Oh, sorry. The hobby boxes are not out yet. The reason why these Wemby cards have leaked, and it's only a few of them. You got the base, the silver, the green, the ice, maybe one or two other parallels, is because retail configurations have leaked only. But hobby boxes are not out yet. I don't think they're coming out for another 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay. But we're getting close to Wembanyama black chasing. Yeah. Awesome. I can't wait for Backyard Breaks to pull that shit really soon.
Yep. That day is coming. Prepare. Mentally prepare.
I just always picture that meme that Lameme uses where that guy, like, he's looking at it and he's smiling and then they pull it down and he's like...
Yeah. Yes, that is a good meme. This is actually the subject of our second topic. Before we get to it, is there anything else to say about LeBron autos or this other topic we kind of pivoted into? Was there anything else that you wanted to say about that?
It's hard to predict on it. I'd rather I feel like we got a lot of great takes on it. Good advice. I think we're fine.
Yeah. Yep. Let's just let it play out. There's the...
Yeah, that...
So Backyard Breaks pulled the CJ Stroud Prism Black Finite 1 of 1, which is the best card in that product. And the shock in the second, in the bottom half.
Did you get some questions? Did you get some questions on this topic?
Yeah, I did. I got a few that were not as well constructed, I guess, as this one from Northwoods Card Collector. So I'll just go with his. And his question is this: what are the mathematical odds that a breaker can truly pull as many 1-of-1 product hits without being given a loaded case? And yes, I'm referring to Backyard Breaks. Do you feel, with as much publicity before even being pulled, that cards like the LeBron Triple Logo Man, the Brady Super Fractor Autograph, and the LeBron/Bronny Super Fractor Autograph, are these cards in some way tracked by Panini and Topps? there is no way I think I can be made to believe that these companies don't know exactly which case those $1 million cards are packed into. This hobby has been so full of greed lately. Please convince me otherwise. Well, he just said he can't be convinced otherwise. So,
Yeah.
But
I'm just thinking through like the risk reward for Fanatics or Panini to do this, and I'm just not seeing any reward with the risk of absolutely crushing your business. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist already. Like, I'm more of a mathematician, scientist-based data person here. I just can't. But let me just like play out the scenario where they actually did this. What is the reward?
The reward is that there's maximum exposure. So if this card is broken by Backyard Breaks on the Fanatics Live app, then that's maximum exposure. It's going to get the most eyeballs possible seeing the card. That's one positive.
Yeah, I mean that's like saying Vegas wants everybody to like have the exposure of people winning all the time, and like I don't know, there's a ton of people losing in Vegas a lot, and they don't seem to mind the exposure of that either. Plus, like the second it gets pulled by a random breaker, it's going to be over all the Instagram accounts immediately, no matter who pulls it. So it's going to get the exposure. I guess you get I understand the like Fanatics Live part of it. That makes sense that they want it pulled on their own live stream. I don't know. But the risk of it is just so damning. If you get caught with this, it's just you're absolutely bugged.
Can I offer a contradictory point here? To this guy who's saying like, let me like convince me. Okay, you're saying that there's greed in the hobby, and you're saying that people who work at these companies know what breakers they're sending to. Why aren't their families buying into those breaks to win the card? Like if the greed is actually there and they're actually tracking it, don't you think they'd be caught by now because someone would have been greedy and like had their brother or cousin buy in order to win that $1 million card?
Only Christina's mind could take that leap into what would I do if I knew?
That's not true.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we have to start thinking about how would we play this scenario out ourselves in order to like really see it through. That's good.
Yes, no, it's a valid point. I was going to say we don't know for sure that they're not already doing that, but they probably if they would have hit maybe I don't know. They could be doing that. Like to the point of like, well, some breaker is going to pull the card and then it's going to show up on social media. True, except what if a breaker doesn't hit the card? What if it's just somebody who bought a hobby box from their LCS and then the card just the worry would be like the exposure and the promotion that would come from this card being pulled is completely lost if some guy just opens a hobby box and hits it and just puts it away.
Do you think?
All right. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think we need to know how they distribute these, or some sort of like behind the scenes transparency of like the process they use? Because we've seen now Michael Rubin in a picture holding the LeBron Bronny. So what are the steps it takes to go from his hands into a random pack or a random box into a random distribute? Like that seems tough to make it truly random now that it's been in the CEO's hands. You know what I mean? Like what's the process? So maybe that might help some of us. I don't know.
Yeah. Go ahead, Christina. She forgot. Oh boy! All right.
Sorry.
This happens a lot.
It's ADD. It's not you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's and then to your point, Josh, that if it were ever conclusively demonstrated that a manufacturer is not issuing the product on a random basis, it would be devastating to consumer confidence in their purchasing of the product if they're purchasing it with aspirations of being able to hit the best card. And it also probably would have serious legal implications because of the marketing speak and the language on the packaging surrounding randomness in terms of pulling cards and the odds of being able to pull cards, or you have a chance to pull this card, that type of language that's included on the packs, and like this pack potentially includes such and such cards. If that wasn't true, then you have false advertising on your product.
Put a percentage on how much of a given product a really huge breaker like Backyard might open.
Oof, I have no idea.
Like
I'm not part of this. Like neither are you, Josh or Christina.
I know,
We're
but
not
I just
part of the breaking world. Like we don't.
I understand, but like, in what world do they open more than 10%? Like, just being real, how is it even possible to open that much?
Breakers, because like
just one. Pick one.
Just like the biggest breaker. I have no idea.
Yeah, there's no way they're more than 10% of everything, right? So like 0.1 times 0.1 of them times 0.1 of them pulling the biggest card over and over. And we know they haven't pulled all the biggest ones, but the math is not looking great.
Okay, I remembered my point.
Yes.
It takes a while, but my brain eventually gets back there.
That's why you're standing.
So, you were talking about a card like not being hit, and like maybe a collector gets it, Chris, and like then it like no one ever sees it. Wouldn't that be in the best interest of some of these companies? Because then they're continuing to sell the boxes. Like when the biggest card in a product is hit the first day on product release day, like some people are like, well, then I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
Because like the jackpot's already been won.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Great point.
Good point. Definitely the breakers and the distributors and the hobby shops would prefer if it never got pulled. Same thing for the people who are investing in wax or collecting wax or hoarding wax. But I think the manufacturer sells out immediately. And so I think
I just feel like they would want it to be fully random. Just based on what you just said. They're going to sell it immediately. Then there's no risk. Just randomize the shit out of it to the max, and you'll never lose. Right. That's my take on that.
Right. Yeah. These are good points. I will leave it up to Northwoods Card Collector to come back and say, have you been, you said you don't believe you could be convinced, and then you asked to be convinced. So Have you been convinced?
Carvin in the chat says, once the triple logo man of LeBron was hit, flawless boxes dropped 20%. So that's bad for resellers of the boxes, for sure.
And that hurts breakers and LCSs.
So the breakers shouldn't want other breakers to pull it, to be sure, because it ruins theirs. They're not the ones that hit it. They just get really mad.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
I mean, even the breaker who hits it doesn't want it to be hit on release because then they get tomorrow's slot.
Plus I feel like some people think maybe the breakers get to keep it or something. The breakers like gain nothing financially from actually hitting those except for the exposure they get, right? They're not actually benefiting from the card.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Somebody in the break gets the card.
Yeah, they're so excited when they open it. It's like, you're not getting that, right?
Well, sometimes they do keep it.
Ooh.
That's true. And when that LeBron triple was hit, wasn't Whatnot giving out like this yellow Lamborghini or something to the breaker who hit it or something? I think that happened. I might be making that up.
I'm probably wrong. You're right.
Yep. Also unrelated, but Christina's now working for Backyard Breaks on the side. So.
Not true.
So we're gonna pull that Bronny.
You're serious when you say stuff like that.
I am not serious.
Do you know that's the only auto he signed in the whole product? Is that one card?
Wow, I did not know that.
I'm asking you because is there like a base where he signs 1,000 of them, and then a blue where he signs 100? Like I think that's the only one.
I don't know. I really don't. It could be. Very well could be. Yeah, could be. I mean, that was always the concern with LeBron. I think was just that how do you give a billionaire enough money to sit there and sign 1,000 cards? You know?
Doesn't Luka like barely sign anything anymore? He doesn't really even sign the new products, does he?
I don't think so. I don't think he has many autos coming out these days. So. But his mom starts them anyway, so she can. I'm sure she's got the time.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, hey, LeBron, sign these million base cards. He's like, I'm good.
Right, yeah, exactly. So that's another thing that kind of makes getting LeBron such a big achievement as well. It's like, how did you convince him to take the time out of his day to do this?
When I watched that video, they put the little card in front of him. He's like lining it up, gives a little pen. He's like, this is stupid. What am I doing? I just couldn't I couldn't get past that thought of like, he's like, this is so dumb.
What do you think about how his autograph has changed so much?
It's worse.
It looks so different.
I don't like it.
It looks like 3 balls.
I like his older ones. I mean, that's like 30% of why I collect LeBron exquisite auto. I actually just like the look of his auto. I think it looks cool.
It is a good looking auto. Let me find an image of this.
And I feel like that pen is a little thin. Plus, like, I've never been a fan of signing shiny cards. It always comes off a little flat and thin. Like, it's just harder for the ink to like set on it versus like the paper fronts, So
yeah. Well, this is funny. Okay, so this was like the mock-up that was
what an auto
circulating. Yeah, this was the mock-up that like when Word first came out, this is what the card might look like. And then here's what it actually looks like.
Can you see what I mean? Like when it's on the shiny card, it just kind of like it looks a little bit more streaky. It's not as like it doesn't set on the card as well. Even Bronny's is like a little bit more faded looking.
Yeah, I do see what you mean there. I don't know if you didn't know that said LeBron James.
That looks nothing. It looks like a bad Mickey Mouse.
Oh, you know what that looks like? Oh my God. It's the other character from WALL-E, the female robot from WALL-E. Pull that up.
All right, hold on.
Pull it up.
What the female Eve from WALL-E?
Christina would know the name.
Of course she would.
I never saw the movie, but I know the name.
It's a great movie.
Oh, oops. Okay, here we go.
Oh yeah. Go back to the auto. You got to really think about it. You got to picture it with me, though.
No, there's something with the shapes going on here.
Yeah, the three shapes: the body and the 2 arms.
So it's like, yeah.
Yep.
That looks bad, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like his older autos. They tried to will LeBron into signing it the way he used to. Like, this is our mock-up, LeBron. Just take a look at the mock-up before you sign the real one. Here's what we were thinking. And he's like, that's not what my auto looks like, but okay.
Yeah. Or, I don't know if you guys have seen this show or not. It kind of reminded me of this.
If I knew to do this. If you do this like once a month, I think that's great. We'd space it well. It's
been a while. It's been a while. All right.
People are like, what's it gonna be? They're like leaning in. Damn it.
Now you have to tell the people who are only listening what you showed. A live look.
They should know what we just gave a live look at.
That's all they get to know.
Live look.
All right. They got the live look at Drew Brees as an NBC announcer.
That prediction proved accurate.
You nailed that one.
Don't get me started on these announcers.
I hear Tom Brady's taking over next year.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Tom Brady needs to decrease his circulation.
Yeah, Tom Brady needs to go retire for a couple years and let people miss him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The way he misses his ex-wife.
Yep. All right. Let's move on here. Next question we have. I'm going to combine 2 questions into one for this part. First up, we have the Bones Collector, who says, is there a worse monetary investment in America than cards of quarterbacks who are under the age of 27?
Yeah.
And then
the answer is yes.
The answer is yes. And then the other question I'm going to combine with this is from the Warp Sports Cards. If all three of you had to collect one quarterback not named Mahomes who was under the age of 30, who is it?
Yes.
This isn't fair because we just got a new fucking football PC, and he's like, accept the brand new football PC you just started. Like, do you know how long it took? The kid fucking came into the league in 2017. It took me 6 years to be like, okay, yes, I'll collect you, and now he's like, accept that.
I think it's more of a help me pick my next investment type question.
Okay. Yeah, we don't answer that. Moving on. Next question.
I like the first question though, because I've got some good examples. Why don't you fire up the old graph for Top Shot and ShipBeats and like 99.9% of any NFT projects?
Right.
I think we can beat that. That's like 2 billion to 5,000 or whatever the sales volume was for Top Shot. I think
it was dramatic. It was a lot. Yeah, it was definitely a lot.
All right, quarterback. What's your answer?
Well,
we can't choose Lamar. Is that what he said?
No, he said we cannot choose Mahomes.
Okay.
Under 30 cannot choose Mahomes, and okay, so like some of it, like you were alluding to Josh Allen earlier.
I just like him,
right?
And I think he's got a few years of sustained like top 5 stats. I like Josh Allen. I like watching him play personally. Like I think he's exciting.
Yeah. So like, let's just make sure we don't miss any of the names here.
Sure.
Candidates: Josh Allen, Tua, Zach Wilson, Mac
you could have left him out.
Bailey Zappi, Aiden O'Connell. Who's QBing for the Broncos right now?
Are these serious names so far? Can we just go to like the Burrows and the Herberts?
All right, and then we've got you're right. Then we've got Herbert, Lamar, Deshaun Watson. I think is under 30.
Lawrence.
We have Mason Rudolph. We have Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Minshew, Dak. I think Dak is under 30. Jalen Hurts definitely under 30. Daniel Jones, Sam Howell. Somebody in the hobby likes Sam Howell. You got Brock Purdy, Stafford and Geno Smith are going to be too old. You have Kyler Murray. Goff is probably got to be around 30. You have Jordan Love. Cousins is going to be too old. Justin Fields. Baker. I think Derek Carr is going to be too old. Jameis Winston's probably going to be too old. Desmond Ridder. Bryce Young. There you go. We just went through the whole league.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that are under 30.
Yeah, there definitely are. There's very young crop of QBs here. You say Josh Allen. I don't know if there's any. I'm probably not doing it. I'm probably not collecting.
You have to.
I have to?
Do you have?
All right, fine. This is what the people want. This is what the people are expecting. So we'll just give it to them. Sam Howell. No.
Desmond Ridder, just do it, man. You know he's awesome.
Desmond Ridder. You guys got me. No, give me Brock. I'll take Brock. If I can't do Mahomes and it's got to be under 30, give me Brock.
How many times do you have to get benched by your coach before people start to realize you suck?
I think the over-under there is 2.5.
Okay. Well, one more to go then. I swear to God, every time I watch Red Zone, that guy throws a pick and I just go, oh my God, what the hell was that? Like the worst pick. I know people don't like Josh Allen's picks, but at least he's trying to like push it downfield and they're tough throws and he's trying to make something happen. I feel like Ritter's just like throwing him right to another guy sitting in the middle. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Nah, that is the Desmond Ridder Red Zone experience.
It's just like, here we go. And that's a pick. What the hell were you looking at? Sam Howell leads the NFL in picks, not Josh Allen, FYI.
Yes, good point there. Yeah, Sam Howell seems to be out or on the outs in Washington because there's all this speculation about like what they have a very high draft pick. You know, they're going to take a QB with it, so it ain't looking good for old Sammy right now.
Yeah, they're going to have a new coach who wants to have his guy. You know, they're going to take Daniels or May or whatever.
Right.
What do you want the Bears to do? I haven't gotten your official opinion.
Oh man, this is just such a no man's land for me because I don't watch college football, so I don't know how good these quarterbacks are. I know that like you have
Just say that the one that they pick turns out to be the best one or something. I don't know. That kind of ruins it, I guess.
Then I like taking one because Fields is in the final year of his rookie scale contract this upcoming season.
I think Caleb will be good.
Yeah, well, it's going to be right now. The big board is going Caleb, Drake May, LSU guy, and then Penix.
Hey, Daniels went to ASU. Come on, get the name right.
That's right, Daniels. Yeah, Jaden Daniels.
He was
right
at ASU for 2 years. I watched him. He was good.
That's where he was made into the player that he is today.
I don't think that's right. That's not right. It's not right, is it?
No, probably not. But I don't know. He probably beat Prime.
Dude, everybody beats Prime. Dude, I saw something today that was like, who's going to take over for Nick Saban in Alabama? Prime. And it's like, no, that's not happening.
You know what Prime did, though? He's good. He's smart, man. He's clever. As soon as the Nick Saban thing broke, putting out the feelers. Hey, come on over to Alabama, guy. I mean, come on over from Alabama.
Yeah.
Up here to Colorado State.
I feel like he's got a second job waiting for him in the card flipping game. He would be very good at convincing people that his cards are more valuable than everyone else's.
Yes.
That's all we need is another NFL scammer now, like on like one of the stream platforms.
The only game I got you to watch one college football game, and I got you really fired up. It was to watch Oregon demolish and Prime.
Yep.
Like I ain't watching any of these games. I'm like, you're gonna watch this one, bud.
All right, let's move on here. Next question is from Bleecker Street Cards. Can we agree on a hotel for trade nights at the National so that I can go ahead and book a spot? I didn't know. At first I thought he was saying he's going to like host a trade night. Like let's.
He just wants to be close.
Sorry, what did you say?
He's saying he just wants to be close, so he doesn't have to like drive around. Because Cleveland's kind of spread out, right, Christina?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great point. Because like in Chicago, the trade night situation is just like there's like
all walking distance.
Yeah, there's like 4 trade nights.
Yeah.
And
every hotel has a trade night.
Yeah, just pick a hotel and.
This is a good question. I think it's downtown, right? I think that's gonna be the place. I think
that would make sense to me. Yeah, I'm good. Different guy, George. Different guy.
Yeah, George says downtown. I think we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So so contact Bleecker Street Cards if you're interested in strategizing on this a little bit. All right.
Just ask Ryan. Isn't Card Collector 2 going to host the trade night? That should just be at least the starting point.
There you go. Wasn't his at the facility last year though?
Yeah.
Okay. It was for AC too.
Yeah. His trade night is just taking over the National, basically.
It's just like a nighttime National, yeah.
Okay, next question here. Jeff Rose Jordan's Moore says, after acquiring a Grail, do you experience a cool down period where you chill on wanting anything new for a while? Or do you immediately always want the next thing?
Tell us. What's your thinking on, like, do I go get another Mahomes or do I chill?
No, I go into a hibernation mode for months.
I love the hibernation.
Typically, after you bought the Mahomes, you immediately turned around and bought a McCaffrey Grail.
Yeah, because I had to. My hand was forced. But I've been, ever since that, which was in October, I think, I've been in a hibernation. First, I was selling cards to sort of like rebalance the collection and make sure I didn't have too many McCaffrey cards, basically. And then after that, though, yeah, I've just been in a hibernation mode. I haven't even been like looking to pick up small stuff either, unless it's like something really unique and special. So definite hibernation mode for me. What about for you?
I agree. I'm a big fan of, some people might want to prep for a big card coming and they'll like sell stuff and have cash ready. I'm a big fan of like just being surprised by something I wasn't expecting and then frantically trying to make it work by grabbing cash from something else or selling something really quick, like making it an adventure to get to it. And then after I do that, I do feel tired and exhausted and like I need to chill for a while. And like I've pulled in this big card I wasn't expecting and now I need to chill.
Yeah, definitely. And acquiring a big card, if it's truly a big card for me, it should hurt a bit, right? Like it should take a chunk out, and then you gotta like just chill for a little while and be like, all right, time to replenish the accounts here and take stock of things and like have that little post Grail acquisition letdown period.
Right.
It's all part of that cycle. You got to play out the 12 stages of a Grail acquisition.
I always laugh when someone says something on the show or messages me like, when are you going to get the next Grail? It's like, man, that $300,000 LeBron wasn't enough for you. I have to like buy something immediately. Like I can't chill for a little while. Like that's expensive, bro. Give me a minute.
It's like, oh, you completed all of the LeBron Topps Moment and Finest Golds? When you starting the Prism Gold run, man?
Or they're like, where's your XRC Gold? It's like, god damn. I just made up this rule that it has to be playing days, and now you're making me break the rule already.
Where does that energy come from? What is this? Is it just people being excited and they want something to say, and it just kind of like it's natural, just pops into your head?
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm just teasing. It's a natural like keep this going. Right. It's fun. Plus, like for a lot of people, it's not necessarily about how much each card costs and like how much it hurts your bank account and how much it hurts to get it. It's just like you need that steady wave of anything, really. Like some new card.
Yeah. Yep. I definitely get that. All right. Jose says when your Grail gets 2 likes, sad face.
Oh man, it sounds like a Jeff post actually.
You know how you win that game, Jose? You just don't post the Grail, and then in your mind it has 1,000 likes.
I'm Mr. Beast every time I don't post.
Exactly.
I get 500 million views.
You're just waiting to drop it because like eventually it will get all those likes. All right. This one comes in from Ruben.
Michael Rubin, all right.
Not that Ruben, not our Ruben at Out of Wax says, what's the best way to start following the NBA? Should you follow a team? Should you follow a player? Should you follow a draft class? And I know this is a sincere question. He's big in the NFL. He loves the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
He follows the NFL, and he does maybe a little bit of gambling from time to time. And now he wants to get into the NBA, right?
Mm. So, well, thanks for that context. That helps.
Yeah.
I feel like the answer is player. Just like the way that the modern NBA is structured with the way that like players move around, I feel like you're going to be happier picking a player because it's much easier to just like if you're if it's not your like hometown team or something, you can just pick up and change teams if the player moves. I feel like it's easier to pick the player, and that just like coincides with collecting a lot easier. You could just pick your player and know which sets you can go after, et cetera, et cetera. A team is a lot harder because you got to like figure out which players you got to make a lot more decisions after that.
You have to suffer through a lot more BS too.
Yeah.
And you have like 15 guys to hate and get annoyed with and stuff.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like picking a winning team is dicey. But I guess, if you just like sort of bandwagon the best team at the time. But
I know, but it's like I just feel like that changes so quickly in the NBA. Like just look at the Warriors, man. They had it. They couldn't have been flying higher, and all of a sudden they're like out of the playoffs. Draymond's punching everybody that walks across them. It's like it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I agree with player first. That's 100% my approach. I think that's kind of an unusual approach. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I usually think people kind of like pick a player that's based on their favorite team that they'll end up standing for.
Yeah.
Just like straight up picking a player is a little weird. But the thing is, to me, is like what's gonna make it work is what makes all of sports work on a commercial level, which is having a real true rooting interest. That's what's going to make it work, is having something that you're emotionally invested in and that you really genuinely come to care about seeing them win, seeing their story develop and stuff. That's the key, is finding something that you can really get behind and care about. That's what it. So for me, players definitely works more than teams. But because like, what is it? A team is like an organization. It's a concept.
It's an owner, a rich guy.
Exactly. But a player is more fun to me. And you can pick multiple players. If you want to hedge your bets a little bit, just pick like 5.
Yeah, just pick like a young guy on a good team that's having fun. I don't know. I feel like you can't lose doing that. Lose financially, maybe,
Right.
but having fun, following a team. And if this person's a Cowboys fan, they're definitely looking for something a little more stable.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he should just go with the Lakers. And then Lakers,
Duke.
Cowboys. Yep, Duke.
Alabama.
Damn, what was I? Yeah, no, that's good. That's good stuff. The Yankees, yep. Oh, this is the last thing I wanted to say, and this was stats and like team record and stuff. This is your friend. This is like, go look at who the best statistical players are, and go look at who the best. Or just watch.
I need is these 2 bad boys, and I can figure it out on my own. I don't need thank you, sir.
Or just pull up Twitter, see which highlight comes into your feed first, and then you're good. Just pick the one with the flashiest highlight.
Edwards had a sick dunk. He was 1 of 12 shooting, but the one was a dunk. I'm in.
Yeah, Jalen Green is the champion of this right now.
Is he the champion of the poor percentage, but one sweet highlight?
Yes. Yes. Also, I'm wondering if Ruben has ever tried a Reuben sandwich. I was thinking about that earlier.
I thought we were going to get that question from Michael Rubin. I'm not disappointed. I'm sure this other Reuben is a great person.
This is the better Reuben.
Okay, good.
This is by far the better Reuben. All right. This comes from Cardi C Sports Cards.
Problem. I saw Bill Simmons was going on a thing about Ricky Davis the other day. He's like, Ricky Davis is a problem. Like, were you talking about Ricky Davis right now? What is happening?
He's doing these new videos too, where he's like walking around, like maybe he just got done with his jog or something, and he's like ideas come to him while he's on his jog. And so his first one was proposing that I think it was the Falcons should trade a first round pick to the Patriots for Bill Belichick.
He just happens to benefit from that.
Yeah. And then the other one was the Warriors should trade Draymond to the Lakers. That was the one that he put out today or something like that.
They were talking about, I was so glad that they brought this up, but you know how they always do the picks on Sundays, the over-unders, or sorry, the lines? And they always bring up like, oh, this team needs it more. This is a playoff game for them. They need it more. And they bet on that. And then I forget who his guest was. He's like, I actually bet the opposite of that because that never works. And that's just BS. That's not real stats. That's just feelings. And Bill was like, you know what? You're right. We should just bet the opposite of that. This is the way we'll do it now. He always that didn't work because he bet on the Bears instead of the Packers, and the Packers needed it more. It was just like this is how gambling gets you, man. You think you have it figured out, and then you change, and you're always wrong.
I think you got a good system going, and all right. Okay, all right. Next question here from Cardi C Sports Cards. I wonder if this is a question that a lot of people have, but they just don't ask, or if it's just Cardi C. I don't know. But Cardi C asks, why does the hobby care about firsts?
Really, you should take this one first. See what I did there?
First, should I go first here? The more important.
Yeah, because you've been on this like playing days. This is kind of in that purview. You mentioned to me tonight you've been focused on rookie cards. Like, what's your thinking there?
Yeah. Well, whenever I think about firsts, I think about riparian rights in America or water rights. And
it becomes a legal thing.
Yes, and people who first settled along a portion of the water, because they were there first, they get access to that portion of the water. I don't know. This was years ago when I studied this, but there's something to this effect. Being first near something gives you rights to it. And this is sort of the thesis behind like homesteading, I think, right? It's like being the first to homestead a land gives you some sort of rights to it. There's strong firstiness means things. It always has meant things. Or as George says, a better metaphor here is who was first to join the stream and claim that they were first. There's something about the first. And so like when you bring it into the hobby, you bring it into collectibles, being first is the thing that defines like a rookie card, for example. So rookie year cards only exist in that coincide with the production for that player's first season at the highest level in their sport. So firsts matter. Firsts matter in that regard. So, there's what it's going to boil down to here, I think, is that as in many human systems, there is a need to create hierarchies of things. Something has to be better than something else. And then it just becomes a question of how will you determine what's better? And a way of determining priority in lots of different categories is who was first, what came first. That seems to be pretty powerful. But you can also say it's arbitrary, right? You can come down on that line, just kind of say first is an arbitrary thing, and that just because something came first doesn't mean it should be better. I don't know. What do you think about this, Josh?
Yeah, I was thinking like of nostalgia, just like remembering where we began with something and having like fond memories of where it started. Like, oh, I remember the first basketball game I went to with my dad or something. Like people usually think back and remember things probably more fondly than they actually were at the time, and they just like reminisce on the first of something, the oldest, the memories, I guess. I just think of it that way.
Good point. So like here's like a further meditation on this. Let's imagine a world in the hobby where firsts did not matter. Let's say first doesn't mean anything. How does that change the way cards are collected?
It seems like if it's not a rookie, the rest of the years don't really have a hierarchy. There's not really much of like, oh, this is third year, that's better than fifth year.
Right.
So it is like the whole if you're not first, you're last kind of vibe there. It's like They just want the very, very first, or otherwise they all blend together. But if that was gone, I think they would just continue to blend together. The rookies would just be a part of the rest. It seems like the term rookie is like a really well branded, marketed term. Like it's stuck. It's something we can point to and say like this is the rookie year. It's like a cool phrase to say. That certainly helps. I think.
Yeah, it does. It definitely helps. Like if we didn't, I guess like one thought I have is that there's something objective about first. So there's no disputing in the ordinary situation whether a card is a rookie card or not, or whether it's not a debate whether 2012 Prism is the first year or 2013 Prism is the first year. There's no debate. There's nothing subjective here to debate. But if we got rid of that first being important, and we just said we don't care at all, a 8th year card is just as desirable as a rookie card, then you're left with subjective factors taking up more of the desirability scale. So then it's like, well, I think the 8th year looks better than the 6th year, and I like the 5th year is looking better than the 12th year, and things quickly become subjective. And then when you have subjectivity dominating the markets, it's harder to find consensus in that setting, which would be a problem. Which would definitely be a problem. And then let's take the reasoning a step further. Why should something that has less copies be better than something that has more? Why should one copy be better than 1,000? Why is a 1 of 1 better than the version that's out of 1,000? It's all it's and then when you try to answer that question, you have to tell yourself a story about how things that are more rare are more desirable. Well, why? Because of the exclusivity that it creates, and so on and so forth. And then you're kind of back to making the same argument that you make for firsts. Why should firsts matter? Because there can only be one, or there can only be 1 year of firsts. And you're creating, once again, exclusivity to create a hierarchy or to create a ranking of things. And then once we accept that premise, that ways that we can consistently and objectively create scarcity are desirable, then you can start looking for more ways to create that and more ways to create it. And that's when certain lights, certain pistons in the mental engine of the collector start firing. Okay. All right. Anything else on this one? It's a good question.
No, I think we need like the hierarchies and the rules to a certain extent. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Yep, we need them badly. All right.
So don't take away that one. I need the rookie cards. I need to know it's a rookie card.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
People think you took this question too seriously, and we need chaos. Thanks so much. Let the subjectivity take over.
There's never in the hobby zags against everything. Everything gets as soon as you try to express a point of view, you can be sure that there's 5 people waiting in the wings to zag. I know that's not what Ankesh is doing here, but there are 5 people waiting in the wings to zag against any position you take.
Like the second, for example, like the second curation becomes a thing, we are ready to not be that.
Yes, exactly. Or or just like if you post something favorable about the player that you like, there is 10 times as many people waiting to zag, which I love. I love that. There's something so natural about that. Like if I see our friend Eddie posting something favorable about like Brandon Ingram or Zion, I'm so ready to zag against it. My brain starts firing immediately.
You're like, yeah, but he sucked 3 nights ago, so it's like, well, I guess you're right.
All right. coming up here, we have a question from Vinny Slaverino. Always enjoy the show. We know the megabit strategy. Oh, is it safe to talk about megabits again?
Oof, I don't know. I'm not ready.
So I think it is because Tyler earlier this week put a meme up of when he's using megabit. So I think we've taken it back.
We've taken it back. Okay.
We've taken it back.
Well, this reminds me.
We used it and we went to the pound and picked it up from the shelter.
Okay, we've rescued this dog. Just as a quick aside here, somebody on Instagram this week sent me a program that Memory Lane, the auction house Memory Lane has, and he told me that this is even more powerful than a megabit, which shocked me because I thought the megabit was the most powerful thing imaginable.
Tell me about this. This is funny.
Yes. All right. So this is something you can do on Memory Lane. It's called Top All Bids. Top All Bids. And then it doesn't even explain what it is, but in the rules it says, quote, top all bids are welcome and held in the strictest confidence by Memory Lane management. So you can actually, on Memory Lane, you can hit top all bids, and that presumably means that no matter what bid comes in from anybody at any hour.
Wait a second. What if they got two MFers who come to them and say, I want the top all bid scenario, and then since it's in the strictest of confidence, we can't tell either of you that there's another one, but we're going to bid you both to infinity. I'm sorry.
If that happens, I think that card gets bid to infinity.
Yeah, that is no other solution. Like they literally, the second person comes to them and says, I want the top all bids, and they go, crap, I'm legally obligated to not tell you about the first person that asked for the same thing, and I can't go back to the first person and tell them that you're coming in and doing the same thing. Infinity.
So wait, one second. Okay, so even higher than the top all bids is when,
like whose net worth is higher?
is when you have the infinity bid, which means at least two people have selected top all bids, and then that transforms the top all bids to an infinity bid, and then two people will owe the auction house infinite.
No, it's whose net worth is higher, and whichever one's is higher.
That just goes to a net worth bid?
Yeah. The person who is second place pays nothing, and then the person who wins the bid has to pay $100 more than the net worth of the other guy.
Is that like an all-in poker?
Exactly. It's like all in for poker. So like someone has to go to each person's house, assess their net worth, figure out their shit boxes. This is complicated, man. They really should take this down.
Imagine explaining to your wife and kids why the car is being repossessed, and you're now living in a box on the corner because you hit infinity bid on.
Oh.
I just really hope I'm bidding against a top all bidder who is in massive debt, and then I actually make money.
Oh, then the auction house has to pay you to take the card? I like that.
So if Memory Lane came to me and you and Christina and they said, hey guys, we like the term megabid so much, we would like to use it for our top all bids because that's kind of a lame name. What would you say? What would we say to them?
Oof.
I would say, yeah, let's do this.
She says yes.
I'm out. This is mine. I'll be like, I went through your top all bids thing and it's not real. It's not the same. No.
People are saying in the chat, they're coming up with the eBay excuse. Sorry, my kid hit the infinity bid on your car.
There should be a button on eBay that says, max me out, bud. It's like a rocket emoji. It's just like, let's do this.
Oh no!
I just feel like you read that Memory Lane thing and you're like, yeah, but when you really think it through, you're like, oh my god, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah, Well, like, okay, so I'm guessing tying this back into Cardi C's question. The first person to hit top all bids probably gets the top all bid claim. Nobody else can top all bids after one guy's topped all bids.
We'll see how good their engineering is.
But then the problem there.
Well, is it an actual button, or do you have to contact them?
I don't know.
Strictest of confidence.
Just says that they're welcome.
Yep.
Top all bids are welcome.
It's confident, so no.
But yeah,
No,
exactly. That's the problem. Is like if I try to be the second guy to top all bids, then I know that somebody else is topping all bids, and I can go in there and infinity bid and push his top all bids to infinity.
Picture the guy who takes the phone call of the second top all bids. He's like, "Yay!" He's like, he's writing it down. He's like, "What was your username again?" Yeah. All right. This is. I gotta ask my boss about this one.
I'm trying to imagine like an influencer bowing out of the hobby after hitting top all bids. I just didn't think it was gonna get. I didn't think I was gonna top all these bids.
Or he's like,
I thought I was topping smaller bids.
"You didn't tell me that the other top all bidder was a 10-year-old and I was going to get out net worth here." Or a dentist. Imagine if you went up against a dentist, you just lose.
Then you're in big problems. Big problems.
Infinity bid. I think we found a hole in their system.
Yeah. Yes. How has this not been brought up before? Look,
Well, there's only one way to test it.
You can't just top all bids. Like they have to ask like what your max is.
The
so
top.
Look, I'm looking at the memory lane auctions, terms and conditions, winter rarities, 2024 auction. Top all bids.
They're welcome.
Bids are welcome and held in the strictest confidence by
It doesn't say anything. That's it.
man.
It doesn't say it's the shortest description of anything on that whole page. It's the most complicated thing on there.
Right. Exactly. So,
dude, I think you and I should both contact them and say we're putting in top all bid on like a $20 card.
See if we both end up owing infinity.
Yeah. And when you guys have to pay like $20,000 for a $20 card, what happens?
And then what I want to happen is for them to tell one of the other, like, hey, just so you know, we have two of the. Well, that's a breach of contract, sir. You told me this would be in the strictest confidence, and busted.
Yeah, that's that. All right. Anyways, little detour there.
If we don't name this title, this something around. Yeah, go back to Vinny's question.
All right.
He actually had a funny question.
Yes.
A good question.
So here's Vinny's question. We know the megabid strategy for eBay auctions, but can you discuss your strategy for a must-have card at auctions that have extended bidding? Do you bid or you hit top all bids now? Do you bid early and often, making sure that you are the winning bidder at all times? Parentheses bully bid, or do you lay low and submit a bid at the end of each window to try to outlast your opponents? Parentheses endura bid.
I love Endurabid. I was just waiting for you to get to Endurabid.
Are there other strategies? Thanks, Vinny.
I love how we find one joke on the show and we just keep pushing that button. We can't. We're like the rat who just found the button.
Yeah, we know where our bread is buttered.
Okay. This is like trying to give my biggest secrets away right now. I've got some secrets on this one.
This is what I was worried about with this question too. I was very worried about that exact thing. Go on.
This is like the bully bid versus the Endura. I guess it's okay if you just kind of pick your favorite. I usually like Endura bid.
Yep.
Yeah, mostly because I'm on the West Coast and I can just outlast you East Coasters who have to go to sleep.
Yep.
That's as basic as my strategy gets. But I have one more. I'll let you go, and then I've got like this little nugget. I'm gonna give it to the 69 people. Nice, 69 people on this live.
And everyone who listens tomorrow.
And all 48 people who listen tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'm an Endura bidder as well.
Mm.
And I'm a particularly nasty one because, like, I'll wait till the absolute last second and do the smallest bid above.
You're the worst.
Yep. I am the worst. I am the absolute worst. So, go on. What's your secret?
All right, here it is. If you've got a max bid in your mind, not an endura, not a mega bid or a top bid, like an actual, like, I don't want to go over this bid, right? Let's say it's 10,000, and I'm not going to do BP and do all the stupid math, so don't ask me. Let's say the max bid that you're going to put in is 10,000, and the bidding is in increments of 1,000. Okay, and you are going to go to 10,000. It's in increments of 1,000. The current bid is 8,000. Okay. So there's a chance to bid 9,000 and take the lead, and endure a bid a $9,000 bid. But the problem with that is, if the next person passes you, they are 10,000. You're out of your max 1,000 before you wanted to be. So in that scenario, I always bid 10,000. So I jump. I don't do the minimum bid. I jump to my max. My thinking there is, the auction shows that I'm in the lead at 9,000. The person who is in the lead at 8 is going to be pissed, and they're going to immediately bid 10,000, and they're still going to be losing. Now they're ultra pissed, and they're going to walk away.
Smart. Very, very smart.
I don't know if that works. It's just, that's my thought. That. There's the secret.
Yeah, because the tie goes to the first bidder.
Correct. Exactly. And if you bid 9,000, you're out 1,000 before you would like to be.
Very smart. I like that. I like that. Stiff, edit that out of the podcast. Thank you.
Do you know how to mark it to edit out? You just scream so he can see the sound jump.
Or like
so scream now. Yeah. That's a little editing trick for you guys.
Nice. All right. Next question here. Another one from Bleecker Street Cards. He says, Nat mentioned a PSA hackathon idea where collectors have a want list or a bounty list. And when that card gets graded, there's a notification to the owner that says someone wants to buy this card for X amount of dollars. What are your thoughts on this and other outside-the-box features that PSA should add?
As long as you can keep the privacy in check there, I think it's a pretty cool idea. I'm a little worried about the privacy, but it sounds cool.
Yeah. It sounds like it's protected here because the owner is being notified that there is an interested party, and then it's totally at the election of the owner to pursue that or not. So the owner could just ignore this entirely. The owner does. In other words, the bad scenario that I worry about, which does not sound like it would happen here, is if I submit a card to get graded, and then people find out that the card got graded, and then they start contacting me trying to buy it, and I don't want that attention, and I don't want those offers. That's the scenario that I worry about. Whereas, like, it should always be possible for me to submit a card to grading that's from my personal collection. I get the card back, and I don't have to deal with being solicited in any way, shape, or form. That should always be the default, and I should always be able to elect to do that. But as long as it's my election, and as long as I could choose to say, okay, actually, I choose to be notified if there are interested parties who have this card on their want list, then I've chosen to do it, then it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm also concerned about, like, a bunch of things here regarding privacy. I'm a huge privacy nerd, as many people know. So, like, this just opens up, like, who accesses this list? Where is this list stored? Like, can people see who is requesting it? Like, people know I'm after the Kleba neon green, but maybe I'm after another card, and I don't want people to know that I'm the interested party. Also, is PSA then the person who's, like, negotiating between the two parties? Or, like, when do you, like, connect the two and like the legalities of PSA, like being the middleman there, I'm kind of concerned about. And this is just like off the top of my head.
We know.
I have others.
Yeah, I was thinking like it would have to be the process is the same, where like PSA is gonna send it through all the way through, it's gonna get shipped, and then maybe like while it's being shipped or at some point you just get an automated message that's like, hey, the order's coming through the same as normal, just so you know, there's a potential buyer who has opted into you knowing their contact information. Here it is, just in case. If not, ignore this.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. Like, what if it's like I don't know, Elon Musk, and just say like just I'm choosing like a billionaire like crazy fortune guy just to make the point of you now have a $100,000 car and you know Elon Musk wants it and he's been waiting for it to be graded. You can now say, okay, but my price is now $1.4 million because I know the individual who is requesting this car. So like, there's some concern there about the privacy and like, I just, yeah.
I just hope that I never have to bid against Elon Musk on memory lane, because I would lose that net worth bid.
Lauren is correct, by the way. Thank you, Lauren.
I see you, Lauren.
All right, so
It should list your address so people can really chase it. Elon Musk infinity bid is just like a regular bid for him.
yeah, these are very good concerns. There's kind of like a new sort of like business developing in the hobby right now, like a new business model where like people take a survey of all the social or like the prominent or even hidden social media accounts, and like they make a list of all the cards that they see and who owns them, and then they shop that list to potential buyers, and then if they're able to line up a potential buyer to a card that they saw on Instagram, then they will contact the Instagram person and say, hey, would you like to sell your card? Which sounds fine at first, but then when you're actually on the receiving end of like an unsolicited interest, and you're like, and also kind of knowing that like somebody is profiting off of being in the middle, they're obviously taking a percentage, you know, it just starts to get a little tedious, maybe.
Yeah.
It comes to
Or we could,
oh, go ahead.
I was just say, if someone wants to sell it, they could put it on eBay and then a buyer can find it.
Right. Yep. Yeah. If you start messing with too many of the customs, you know, of the hobby, you can start getting weird results that were not expected, but that are not what you wanted. You know, there are more and more incentives rolling out recently to discourage people from posting their cards.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've paid attention to this, by the way. I'm taking note of that as well and taking action.
Yeah.
Can we do a title now?
All right, let's do it. Let's wrap up here. Good show.
I just yawned. So
yeah, that's good. That's good. We're at the lights on, last call part. Yeah.
We gotta start kicking the drunk people out.
Yeah, I wrote down like 15 or 20 titles.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's go. Here we go. Running through the titles here. Eye test only show. Some people might be wrong. Don't need to reinvent the wheel. Boring pose. Wembanyama black chasing. The risk of crushing your business.
No, the boring post was. Never mind. Is that the Mr. Beast one?
No. I'm not to that one yet.
You're 4 out of 20 in this.
Okay. Risk of crushing your business. Maximum exposure. 3 balls.
Yep.
His pen is a little thin. Body and 2 arms. Tom Brady needs to decrease his circulation.
Facts.
Everybody hates Prime.
What the heck? Prime the drink?
Amazon Prime, obviously.
Amazon.
Hibernation mode.
Mm-hmm.
If it's truly a big card, it should hurt.
Oh, that has so many good forks to that.
I'm Mr. Beast every time I don't post.
I like that one.
Yeah,
I know that was mine, but I thought that was pretty funny.
Good. It's good. Top all bids. Endura bid. And Infinity bid.
Infinity bid's pretty good.
Yeah. Infinity bid is pretty good. It's a little bit clickbaity. I think people might come in to see what the hell is an infinity bid. So I don't know. What do we want to do here?
Well, I'm not very funny usually, but I do like that Mr. Beast one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put my name in the hat.
All right. Look, I mean, Christina, do you have any objection?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. I don't object either. If somebody feels pretty good about one, I think we should do it. I think that's.
Do you know who Mr. Beast is, Christina?
I don't know who that is.
Oh my gosh. Chris, do you know who that is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's the YouTube guy with the bazillion
Yeah,
views.
We've been watching his stuff lately. It actually is like pretty damn entertaining.
He can ball a little bit too. That's how he shows up on my social media feed because like there was highlights of him playing basketball. So
yeah,
Mr. Beast algorithm about to help your YouTube views.
Yeah, and that's what people would do. They would just put Mr. Beast in their title, and it would like boost their videos. So maybe we shouldn't do that. We don't want more people on this show than we already have.
Yeah, we want to get rid of some viewers.
We want minimum exposure.
We're trying to shrink our audience right now.
Let's do.
Let's just go with it.
Infinity.
Okay, it's all right. Let the Beastites. You got the Swifties. What are the Beasties? The Beast. Let the Beasties come in.
Mr. Beast is the GOAT. I think he has the most subscribers on the internet.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Are they bought or are they
No, it's real. It's very real. He has like 250 million subscribers on YouTube.
That's a novel concept for a lot of people.
No, he's real. He does like his whole thing is like philanthropy. That's why I don't hate it. He gives away a lot of stuff.
All right, let's do it. I'm Mr. Beast every time I don't post. All right, see you guys soon. I don't know about next week.
CY Card Ladder is the most respected sports card analytics app on the market. We have virtually every card in our system. If the card you are looking for ever sold on one of these platforms, you can find it using Card Ladder's sales history. Easily find recent comps and get a better estimate what your cards are worth. CY Card Ladder is the most trusted and the most reliable sports card analytics app on the market. We know what you want because Card Ladder was created by collectors for collectors. Join the innovators, not the imitators. Card Ladder, constantly innovating. Try it for free. CY Card Ladder is the industry leader in sports card data. Card Ladder. We're just getting started.